Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is a new day. We thank the good Lord it's a new day. Thank God it is a new day. So good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by again. Well, we got some interesting things to talk about today. The main focus is we're trying to address the real reason why men are hesitating, avoiding marrying independent women, making them wives, because we got a whole lot of singles out there, men and women. Men are coming out saying, well, the word independent is a turnoff, and I cannot wife that. So I got this couple of videos that were sent to me that we're going to look at and react to, starting with this pastor that you've seen. I don't really know him, but we got to listen to what he's saying. Let's listen to him. Put your comments in the comment section below. And we got some other interesting ones. Don't leave. I'm telling you, you are going to like this. Let us go.
Don't get married if you'll have a problem doing what wives are called to do. Wives should be the homemakers. Oh, that role, that traditional role, that's oppressive and that is antiquated. That's just wrong. This is 2024. What do you mean they're traditional roles? Listen, I don't care what nobody says. You're going to still expect that man to do. If your tire go flat, is he going to sit in the car while you change this tire? If something go wrong at this house, or you going to take that up, so you going to go out there and take care of all the stuff you expect him to do? See, it's okay for women to have those kind of expectations of men. But then you don't feel like a man should have any type of expectation of you. This is wrong, because we're raising young ladies now to look and to have all kind of expectations from men. And you got X-Men out. Honey, if he ain't 6 feet tall, then he don't even need to come to, don't even bother talking to me. If he ain't making $250,000, ain't no need him even asking me for my number. So you got preferences up to your neck. But if he got a preference, now he's sexist. He just wants an objectified woman. No, he wants a wife.
Wow. That was straight to the point. Well, what I'll just say to that, I agree with him. Regardless, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, certain things have changed. But the role as a husband and wife is never going to change if it's going to work. Meaning, husbands have roles, wives have roles, just like God gave the man to love his wife and the wife to submit to the husband. I know we like to argue with that and fight that, but that's why we're having problems. Before we go to the next video, which is so important, we got to watch that. But I just throw this in there real quick. I have a few friends that tell me they are just too selfish to get married. I don't fault them. At least they know themselves. They know they're just too selfish to be married. You need a lot of selflessness in marriage. It's a lot of yin-yanging. It's a lot of looking out for the other person. Sometimes you got to give up your own desires for the other person. And it becomes a ripple effect, right? But I don't understand what's going on in this day and age. Because to me, it almost seems like some people just want to get married just to check off the list. I got married. And then just want to live their lives as single people. Independent. Just want to do whatever you want to do. No accountability. It's never going to work. You're going to have problems, and it's never going to end well. Let's go to this next video, which I think helps to address some of the real reasons and how men see independent women and why a lot of independent women are still remaining single, and as I like to call it, manless. They are manless. Listen to this. Please drop your comments in the comment section below.
As soon as a woman calls herself independent, that's a red flag to me. We don't like independent women. We do like self-sufficient women, but there's a major difference between the two. We don't mind self-sufficiency. A woman that has her own career, her own place, cars, money, businesses, we don't mind that. But the minute you start to idolize your independence is where we see red flags, because there's a certain spirit that comes along with that. It's the I don't need anybody paradigm. Let's flip it. How would women feel if they met a man and every time he spoke, he sounded like, I pay my own bills and they're all in my name. I live on my own. I don't need nobody. She'd probably say like, bro, you're an adult. You're supposed to do that. Like, are you good? Like, is there a chip on your shoulder? Like, but even deeper to the point, I'll never make my woman feel like I don't need her. Can you imagine how I would look to a woman who liked me if I walked around shouting how independent I am or how I don't need anybody? Like, imagine how that would make her feel. Nah, I'm waking up every day and reassuring her that I want her, I desire her, and I need her. I'm not a weak man for admitting I need my woman. But I'm worried that some women are so attached to that independent teaching that they're going to independent themselves right into a lonely life. Or worse, form an attachment but still perceive the relationship through an independent field of view.
My, oh my, oh my. Independent women going to independent themselves out of the game. I think they really should change that word. From independent to being self-sufficient. And I think that's a more acceptable terminology. I know some people will not agree, but it's just a turnoff. I'm independent. So what? What does that mean? I am not afraid, and I do it every day as much as I can to tell my wife, I need you. And she does the same for me. I need my wife. I need my wife. And I'll keep saying it until the end of time, by the grace of God. I need my wife. God created us differently. I'm a man, she's a woman. We have needs that we cannot fulfill on our own. And I'm not just talking sexual needs, because this generation, that's all we think about first. It's not always about sexual. There's certain ways she thinks, there's certain ways I think. We try to bridge the gap, mesh it together to come up with something bigger than us. And I believe that's how God fashioned it. It's such a turnoff, ladies. And for men too, men that may be doing that. I'm an independent man. You go all around. I don't need nobody. I think you need some growing up to do. Some maturity is missing somewhere. And I strongly believe what he was saying. It's not attractive to go around shoving it people's throats to tell them you're independent. You don't need to say it. Just carry on with life. If you don't need nobody, just live your life like you don't need nobody. You don't need to announce it. We can tell. We can see you. You got it going on. Kudos to you, right? But the rest of us that need God and need our spouses and need someone to become a spouse for us, I think it's okay. Well, after you become a wife, it never stops from, when you want to become a wife and then you finally become a wife, you finally become a husband when you're married. Here's a message to wrap this up from another woman to other women. We're going to wrap this up with the S word. So I'm going to let this lady, I've been following her lately. I'm not going to tell you her name until you see her. You might have seen her on Instagram or other social media. She's been speaking facts. I'm going to put her on. She's going to talk, and then we'll wrap this up. But my hope is that some way, shape, or form you were able to pick some nuggets because there's always room for change for everybody, room for improvement. No one's got to figure it out, but we all can make ourselves better. So I'm going to play this. Please put your comments in the comment section below, and we wrap this up. You ready? Let's go.
If you can't submit to your husband, ask yourself if you got married for a wedding and for an aesthetic and so that your shame could be removed and so that you don't look like nobody wants you, or if you actually wanted to be married to someone, if you actually wanted to become one with that man, if you actually wanted to come under his leadership and headship. This is like so profound, but we skip right over it. And I think one of the reasons that we have such combative natures in our marriage as women, and I'm saying we because I've been there, girl. We like to be argumentative. We don't want to be submitted. We don't want to be obedient. This man can't tell me nothing. But it's like, well, if you felt that way about him and if you had no intention of coming under his headship and being protected by him and being led and guided by him, not controlled necessarily, but there is an aspect of control that goes into it, because if a man cannot control his home, he cannot protect it. If he cannot control his woman, he cannot protect her. Going back to the example that I gave about, if your husband told you to change your clothes, would you change? And I was like, you actually should. Because what we have to understand is, and there was some men that were like, oh, I want my woman to look sexy. That man does not love you if he wants you to go out exposed so that he can look good to other people. I'm going to say the thing that nobody wants to say. No God-fearing man who honors and respects his wife needs his wife to be going out half naked so that he can get approval from other people. What I'm not saying is if you walk out with your wife and people compliment you because your wife is beautiful and she puts herself together well, that's problematic, because it's not. And some of the women some of the wives, you're going to look beautiful no matter what you put on. You're going to be attractive no matter what you put on. No matter how much you try to hide your body is going to show in some regard. But what I'm saying is, as a woman, if you go out with everything on display and your husband is like, yeah, I don't know if that man loves you, but you can take that up with God in prayer. But my point is, are we to a point where we are only looking at marriage as a means to save ourselves from looking like nobody wants us, looking like we didn't get chosen? Because it's so much more than just a wedding. It's so much more than just a ceremony. It's so much more than just being like, oh, I got a man, somebody loves me. And unfortunately, what I notice is, when we have these conversations and women, not just single women, but married women, are combative against some of the things that I say, I question whether or not you trust your husband. I question whether or not you truly do love him. And I question what your actual intentions are in your marriage. If you feel that you don't have to be submitted, if you feel that there's not some element of compromise that comes with marriage, if you feel like to some degree your husband cannot direct and guide you, he can't tell you nothing. Girl.
Well, what else is there for me to say? I'm just going to say one thing and wrap it up. Please put your comments in the comment section below. My head is filled. My head is full. If you are too independent, honestly, forget getting married. Don't think about it. If you're too independent, forget getting married. Just live your life, enjoy your independence, because marriage is not about independence. It's all about collaboration. You're going to need a whole lot of humility. You're going to need a whole lot of patience. You cannot be too independent if you want to be married. So if you're thinking of getting married and you're such an independent person, as a man, as a woman, I'm independent. I'm too independent. I do my own thing. Stay single. Believe you me, you save yourself and you save the other person. But being independent is one of the major reasons men are avoiding marriage. When a woman tells a man she's an independent woman, change that word to self-sufficient. Throw some humility on it. Believe you me, things will change. Whether you meet somebody online or you meet them in person, regardless, the husband-wife relationship in the marriage remains the same. Whether it's 100 years ago or today, marriage is still marriage between a man and a woman, and everybody's got to do their roles for the marriage to be successful, to be enjoyable, and to be long-lasting. Please put your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. It's okay. If you don't like the topic, it's okay. You can share it with somebody else. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Everything is not meant for everybody. You know how we like to wrap it up? We just like to remind ourselves that we always remember that we got one life with many seasons. So let's make the best of it. God bless you. I'll be coming back with more pieces. You take care now. Bye for now.